Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Sunday. All right, guys. Well, there's a lot going on, especially in the Bravo verse. I was telling everybody in my last video with Teresa Giudice, um, God, there was a legal expert, well, an attorney out of Beverly Hills named Adam, who was saying that she could potentially have the feds on her ass. And I broke it down and the legal is crazy in the Bravo world. Anyways, we're not back to talk about that. We're back to talk about Erika Jayne, Erika Girardi, whatever you want to call her. And Ronald Richards has entered the conversation as well. So before we jump into all of it, you guys know how this works. If you have not already, go ahead, pop off in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And let's just get right into it, shall we? So Erika, clearly, we all know who she is. We don't need an introduction. She's facing a potential default judgment. This is in the lawsuit filed by the costume designer, Marco Morante. And I want to kind of go through this. Okay. So pretty much just to kind of explain it, because some of us might not know what a default judgment is. A default judgment, that's when one party, which in this case, we'll get to it, could be Erika, fails to respond or show up in court, which the judge would automatically rule in favor of the other party by default. Now, in Erika's case, it could be because her attorney missed a deadline and didn't show up in court, show up to the court conference. So the court is allowing Marco to win the trial unless Erika's team fixes the mistakes. Now, that's important because it's legally binding. Just like if you lost a trial, you might have to pay damages, you might have to pay fees, you might have to comply with whatever Marco was asking for, and it's hard to overturn. I don't think that in this case, like, the judge would just be like, oh, well, you know what? Let's just throw you a bone, Erika. But breaking it all down, and I'm going to bring up Ronald Richards' post, but Marco Morante, who's the co-founder of the Marco Design Studio, he sued Erika Jayne in Florida. Okay. Now, the case is related to another lawsuit filed by a guy named Christopher, and this was in California. Now, both are stemming from a failed Secret Service case against Christopher. How much shit is this woman in? Like, how many different things are going on? Now, here's where the problem is. The attorney's clerical error, right? So Erika's attorney, Jim Wilkes, this is what's being said, allegedly made a clerical error mistake by incorrectly filing a motion to dismiss and failing to appear at a case management conference. That would be where she would have the default judgment, if in fact that happens. As a result, the court struck the motion and is permitting a default judgment to be entered against Erika. You want to see how this just gets worse? Hold on. Now, attorney Ronald Richards, he ended up commenting on the situation, and he said he didn't file his motion to dismiss. Actually, let me just bring it up for you. Here it is. It says, this is his post. Erika Girardi is facing a default in Marco Morante's Florida case. He is the other co-founder or other founder of Marco. Christopher Sila is suing her in California, and this arises out of the failed Secret Service case against Christopher. Her widely reported benefactor, attorney Jim Wilkes, is representing her and her employees, agents, personally. He didn't file his motion to dismiss correctly and failed to show up for the case management conference. The court struck the motion and is allowing a default to be taken, and Erika is now in hot water and is on the verge of losing the lawsuit. Evan Borges, her LA attorney, was not paid for this one. And he said, in my opinion, to save some money, as Jim is licensed in Florida and can't wait to see what the plaintiff does here. All right. So, now the additional legal troubles that could be pinned on this. This follows the reports that Erika is already set to go to trial in another case involving Tom Girardi's bankruptcy trustee, who has sued her for the $24 million. And this is amid the allegations of fraud against his former clients. But Erika's statement on the legal issues in January, it was during an appearance on Watch What Happens Live, the after show, where she described the situation with Tom as a sad ending, saying it's just awful. Honey, it ain't over. And he was found competent, found guilty. And then I guess he's in a place where they assess what they do for sentencing. So she said that's how I understand it. And it's so out of my hands and beyond my control at this point, and it's just sad all the way around. It's a rough ending, is what she said. Yeah, but again, it's not over. This could be so bad for her. This doesn't stop. Like, just because w- I, to be honest with you, I don't know what's going through her mind. Like, oh, well, it's a sad ending for Tom. Did you know that you might be going to trial? Well, that you are going to trial? Did you know that there could be a default judgment? It's like I said this last time when we were covering this. You can't count your eggs before they hatch, or you can't count your don't count your chick. I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying. Let's move on though. Erica, we'll be back for you. Now, with that, I wanted to talk about this because I think that this is absolutely freaking ridiculous. But thank you to our girls over at Taste of Reality. It was Rodrigo Reyes who spoke on why several cast members admitted that they are scared of Craig Conover. So we're going to see that on the reunion. We see where Andy says, "Who here is afraid of Craig?" And a lot of the cast members raise their hands. But Rodrigo pretty much gets along with everyone. At least that's what he told Us Weekly. And some people are hesitant to be around Craig. Now, it was the trailer that was released where Austin said, "I'm terrified of Craig. I feel like I'm just going to get backhanded for like stepping out of line." And that's when Andy asked, "Is anyone else afraid of him?" And at that time, it was Rodrigo who raised his hand. Austin raised his hand. Leva raised her hand. JT raised his hand. And Benita raised her hand. Rodrigo said Craig wants things his way, and that's off-putting to many people. When he was asked why the cast was on edge around Craig, Rodrigo was kind of able to see where Craig was coming from, saying, "I can be the same way, and sometimes that can come across as being domineering, I guess, but I don't think it's that. I think it's, you know what it is? And I've learned so much not to be afraid in situations like this. It's kind of like you have to find your footing in your voice. And you're talking about strong, independent people. Like JT is a strong vocal person. Leva, I know for a fact, strong vocal person. Benita. So I'm not saying that they're not strong vocal people, but sometimes you deal with somebody who starts yelling at you like this because they can't calmly win the conversation. So they yell across at you. They ask what your problem is. Why are you attacking me? They become the victim. They become the aggressor. Then they go back to the victim after they just completely annihilate you. And then they ask you, "Why did you make me do that to you? I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to hurt you. You did this." And you're like, what in the fucking whiplash just happened? I didn't do shit. And you look at the person like, am I going crazy? Are you making me crazy? Can somebody explain this to me? And I think that's what they're all thinking when looking at Craig. And even Vanita, and we talked about this on Hot Messy Topics, even Vanita speaking out how she reached out to Paige and how he got so angry saying that she doesn't deserve his friendship. Okay, so Paige broke up with you now because one of the girls who was friends with her too, you brought her into the group. You wanted everybody to befriend her. That's what you wanted. They did. They're a bunch of girls. They have nothing to do with Vanita has nothing to do with your relationship. She reached out. She was being a friend. Now it doesn't deserve your relationship. If he cannot control the narrative, when the going gets tough, Craig gets going. That's the overall right here. If you don't get to control the narrative, then you run like a coward. I wouldn't be afraid of that person. I would pity that person. But I want to hear what you guys think. Guys, pop off in the comment section. If you guys aren't subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next time. Love you guys.